Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We're back for our fourth and final match of this Saturday Night Rocket League. This match is going to close out our play-in tournaments, and we're taking it to the Novice League. We got the Pawns versus Aurora. Your boy Psychonautic in the booth, ready to bring some play-by-play action. Going to be joined this time by somebody who's been joining me quite a lot recently. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited for this last play-in match of Season 5. Should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm super excited myself. I think it was you and I that casted the Pawns versus the Whelp during the week, which was a really, really good match. Pawns taking that in 3-1. But the Pawns were the 10th seed, and honestly the underdogs. Even in the channel point predictions, if I remember correctly, everybody was expecting the Whelps to win that.
Yeah, and the Pawns were able to upset them. They played very well, honestly. Like, they looked like a whole nother team, and if they're able to bring out that same or energy and confidence here against Aurora, I think they could take this.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, especially since like we just pointed out, they're coming off of a win. And Aurora, even though they got a really good lineup and they came in the seventh seed, so they didn't do terribly in the overall standings, but they are coming off of a tough game 5 loss. They lost to the Vikings in the upper bracket. Vikings moved on to clinch their spot in the playoffs. They'll be going up against Acceleration in the first round, but Aurora had to come down here to the lower bracket finals, face off against Pawns. Winner of this game will be taking the 8th seed in the playoffs, and they'll be facing us off against Frost in the first round.
Yeah, and if the Pawns are able to win this game here, their whole division will end up making it into the playoff bracket. That's 4 out of the 8 seeds that are there. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's not something you see that often, but also like we were talking about earlier, there was like 5 teams that were all tied for second place in the Novice League. So this league is obviously got way more high-end players for its respective MMR boundaries than some of the other ones here. But Matt, looks like we got all the players in the lobby, so let me get it from you. What is your caster prediction here? Who do you think is going to take the 8th seed?
Well, Aurora earlier in the season, they ended up winning it in 5, but I think the Pawns are going to come out very strong here, and I feel like they're taking it in 5 tonight.
And we will see if you are correct there as the players join up on the pitch. Aurora, they have Clinksy, OD Chops, and Polarize. Pawns are rocking with Flight Knight, Speed Demon, and Yukio. We're going to get into this kickoff right here. Game 1. This is a best of 5 series. Winners goes on to the playoff. Loser goes home. Polarize gets it through the defense, through the midfield, gets it into the corner and bounced in front. Odie Chops is there, but doesn't find the touch he's looking for. Flight Knight is going to send that one out. Clinksy trying to take control in the midfield, but Flight Knight's just too much. Puts the pressure on it, gets it in, and sinks the first goal for the Pawns.
Yeah, Clinksy just kind of gives it to Flight Knight there, and he gets a lucky bounce off that post, and it's going to end up dropping into the back of the net of Aurora's goal. And there you have it. The Pawns already up 1-0 in 30 seconds.
And it's looking like the Pawns are picking up directly where they left off with the Whelps, not missing a beat, getting that offensive pressure going. Yukio is going to send that out from his defensive zone. Also, Yukio again rocking the Ripper car. I've seen some people in chat talking about how he was rocking that. Well, there he is again. That's going to be his playoff vehicle, if I had to guess. Flight Knight making the touch to the side. Speed Demon there to follow up. But Polarize is going to break up the attack. 4 minutes on the clock here. And, oh, Odie Chops taking a shot but he's not able to get it in. Clinksy trying to get it past, but also can't get it through the defense of the Pawns here. And Pawns looking pretty good here, Matt, though it seems Aurora is starting to take a little bit of the offensive pressure here.
Yeah, the scoreboard may show that the Pawns are on top here, but Aurora's playing very strong and they're keeping this game really close. And at any point, honestly, I think this score could just reverse.
Yeah, one goal is definitely not a big lead. However, it is big enough to take a win. Clinksy sends that one down, gets it in front of the Pawns net, but nobody from Aurora there to take the shot. As the ball gets cleared out of Pawns defensive zone, Odie Chops gonna keep it going. Keep the pressure for Aurora. Misses his touch out of the corner. Speed Demon sends it away. Polarized there. A bit of a double commit, but they're going to get the goal regardless.
You know, and sometimes the double commit pays off as they're able to just put that in the top of the net. And Yu-Gi-Oh's not even going to move. I think he thought he was going to hit crossbar and just didn't really work out that way for him.
And Aurora gonna tie it up. Just under 3 minutes left. Speed Demon trying to get a goal from the kickoff, but it does get blocked. Odie Chops with a good save. Blight Knight puts it into his own corner. Gets a second touch, but Clinksy finds a touch off of the sidewall. Speed Demon sends it down to Aurora's defensive territory. Speed Demon off the backboard. Yukio's there, but it gets sent high. Blight Knight trying to keep the pressure. Clinksy just plays it slow. Clinksy gets bumped, but he's still with the ball. He puts it out to the mid. Speed Demon back to Flight Knight for the clear. Flight Knight finds the second touch. Gets the bump on Odie Chops. Yukio's there, keeping the pressure for Pawns, trying to get it in front. It's in front. Speed Demon takes the shot, and he finds the back of the net.
Yeah, Speed with a pretty good shot there. Everybody's just kind of in shambles for Aurora, and Polarize not able to get the touch he wants, and he's gonna he's gonna hit it off his own crossbar, and it's just gonna drop in, giving the Pawns the lead here. Still 2 minutes left.
And we're seeing Pawns play a very similar game to what they did in their game against the Whelps, playing out of the corner, getting the ball crossed, and then getting the goal on the shot on net and in the goal. Flight Knight and Speed Demon were just unstoppable in their game against Whelps, and we'll have to see if this series proves to be the same, as it looked like Yukio and Flight Knight might have bumped into each other in the backfield there. Odie Chop's gonna put one on, but Speed Demon there to make the stop. Up to Flight Knight. Flight Knight can't get it through Clinksy. Yukio sends it past him. Yukio gets another touch, but Chops gonna send it to the side. Chop sends it all the way down. He's going for the touch. He finds the touch, but it doesn't go in. Polarize gonna clean it up and tie us up at 2.
Even though Chops wasn't able to get the angle, he still was able to just center it there. Flight Knight not able to get the touch, and just an open net for Polarize. He's not going to miss those a lot. As you can see, he's able to score that one, as he will score many of those. And this game is tied up once again.
Aurora still live and kicking, not looking to give too much of an advantage to Pawns. Yukio and Flight Knight both going up, not able to find what they're looking for, as Aurora is going to take control of it. Polarize isn't able to get it past Speed Demon. Odie Chop's trying to take another shot at it. Flight Knight sends it up. Flight Knight trying to follow, but misses his following touch. Polarize sends it down. This could be dangerous. Nobody from Pawns back, and Polarize is going to roll the ball in slowly.
I believe whoever was in the net there for the Pawns, he went boost over ball, as I saw him drive over to the corner, and it just left the net open. I believe it was Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's going to be a mistake. He is on high ping, though, so it could be like a desync, but still, you can't give Aurora open nets like that, as they're going to make them pay once again.
Boost over ball is definitely a novice moment, but it's okay. We all make mistakes. Sometimes you got to make mistakes to learn and get better. Flight Knight in the midfield, sends it down. Odie chops, puts it on Yukio's back for that, makes the stop. The last 15 seconds on the clock. Aurora still has the lead. Pons needs to find something quick or they're going to drop game one. Clinksy sends it off Pons' backboard. Clinksy again off the backboard, polarizes up, but it gets sent away. That ball is going to touch, and Aurora is going to take game one.
Yeah, and if the Pawns had another second or two there on the clock, I think they may have had the chance to score that. But in the end, the ball just gets killed, and Aurora's going to end up on top here. And if I do remember right, I believe in the Pawns versus Whelp series, Flight Night and Speed were just reading each other's mind, just constant assists and goals. So if they're able to do that again, I mean, I think they're unstoppable.
Yeah, I can't disagree there. And we saw a little bit of that start to happen in that game, but Aurora just keeping their offensive pressure and staying as solid as they stayed in their own defensive zone proved to be the victory move there as they were able to take that game off the Pawns. But if I'm remembering correct, I think the Whelps took the first game off Pawns and then didn't it, help me remember here. Didn't the Pawns take 3 games in a row right after that?
Yeah, I believe it was that, or the Pawns won game one, Whelps won game two, and then they won three and four. But I remember how the Pawns, after, I believe it might have actually been the first game, because after the first game, the Pawns just came out firing and they just were unstoppable. Constant goals, constant assists, just setting up plays, and that's what put them on top in that series.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if a similar thing happens here, though it did seem like they had the early offensive pressure. They sort of dropped the ball in the second half of the game and allowed Aurora to get the advantage. But we'll see if they're able to move forward and fix their mistakes here in game two, or if Aurora is going to be able to keep that early pressure and walk away with 2 games at the end of this. Flight Night going to try and get one off of the kickoff, but it's going to get cleared away. Chops bounces it off the sidewall to the mid. Speed Demon's there. He gets the touch. Clinksy sends it up to Polarize, who puts it off the backboard. Nobody from Aurora there to follow. It looked like somebody missed. Clinksy missed trying to follow. Flight Night gonna get dunked. Speed Demon in the mid. Speed Demon slowing it down, trying to get control, but he gets dunked by Polarize, who clears the ball. Flight Night puts it off the backboard. Pawns miss their opportunity. Speed Demon sends it over to the side. Polarize putting it back on, but Flight Night was there. What a stop. Clinksy puts it on again, but again, the Pawns are not letting that ball in. A minute gone so far, and we see the double commit come out from the Pawns there, but they were able to get the clear. And Matt, it looks like Pawns might be playing a little bit more nervous in this game.
Yeah, Aurora's already been able to put on 3 shots in the first minute, but the Pawns, they may have like some jitters or something after dropping that first game, but they've played some pretty solid defense, not letting anything pass so far, as Clinksy is going to drop it in and give them the lead.
And there you have it. Aurora starting us off. Odie Chops with the block on that clear, and Clinksy able to get in there and take advantage of the situation, putting Aurora up by 1 now. 3 minutes, 30 seconds, 35, 4, 3 seconds left on the clock now. Clinksy gets it out of his corner. Clinksy trying to get it through Flight Night, but he's not able to. Flight Night holding the pressure. Clinksy bounces it off of him, but nobody from Aurora fast enough to take that shot. Odie Chops takes it off of the Pawns defender. Odie Chops can't get it through. Polarize sends it to the mid, and Polarize finds that angle.
That was a great angle. It kind of just rang around the side there, and it just drops in for him as the two goaltenders, Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm not quite sure who the other one, I believe it might have been Flight, but neither one of them able to get the touch to clear it out. And that's going to give them the 2-goal lead. Still 3 minutes left, in Clinksy again, putting them up 3 now.
Oh my, 2 goals back to back. Clinksy with a good touch off of the kickoff. A ricochet into the net. That Aurora up by 3 now. Pons in danger of getting blown out in game 2. As the ball rolls up the sidewalk, Clinksy finds a touch, but Yukio sends it away. Yukio, not sure what he was doing there. He turned away from the ball and left it. The ball got cleared to the side. Yukio off the sidewall, takes it from him, sends it down, but not able to put it in. Speed Demon keeping the pressure for Pons. Flight Knight out of the corner. Polarized pops it up. Yukio's there. He makes a touch, but Clinksy is able to send it away. Flight Knight trying to get it through. Polarized with some good defense, but Speed Demon is there. He's going to sink it and get the first goal for the Pons.
Flight Knight not quite able to finish that, but Speed is just there and able to lay it in, cutting the lead to 2. And if you're the Pawns, you really cannot get into that reverse sweep situation. So Aurora is too good of a team for that to happen, and I feel like that would be very tough for the Pawns to drop this game too.
Yes, I agree with you there. We've seen it throughout the night with in multiple occasions, teams getting set up, having to reverse sweep. The first match of tonight actually was a reverse sweep, but you're right. Pawns don't want to find themselves in that situation, as Aurora might just go ahead and get the first sweep of tonight's matches. Speed Demon sending it down. Polarized sends it back out. Polarized gets the 50. It pinches all the way back down to Pond's side of the pitch. Clinksy puts it off the backboard to the mid. Flight Knight's there. He's waiting for it. He pops it up. Speed Demon tries to get it through, but Chops makes the block. Yukio keeps the pressure for Pons. Speed Demon pops it up. Flight Knight side flips, so he can't go for it. Clinksy sends it away. Speed Demon off the backboard, but Clinksy with the booming clear. Chops trying to follow. He does, but Flight Knight able to get control of that ball on his own goal line and get it out of there. Yukio trying to get it through, but Clinksy makes the stop. A little over a minute left on the clock here. Speed Demon with the flip reset, it looked like he might have had it, but didn't do anything with it. Yukio in his own quarter. We're down to the last minute here, Matt, and Aurora is still up by 2. Do you think that the Pawns can still come back at this point?
I mean, Aurora's holding on pretty strong, but uh, you still got 45 seconds. That's a decent amount of time for 2 goals to be scored. We've seen multiple times throughout this playoff or throughout these play-in matches that it takes you can have less than 5 seconds and score a goal. As I believe we saw a few matches ago, I believe it might have been Monday, honestly, but we saw a goal in the last 2 seconds to give the team the win. And anything can happen here for the Pawns if they can get a quick one.
And we'll see if they are able to do just that. 15 seconds left on the clock. It's becoming more and more mathematically impossible. Speed Demon trying to get it, but no. OD Chops gets to stop. Speed Demon tries to get the demo on him, but only bumps him, but not enough. He's still able to make the stop from Flight Knight's shot. And the ball only has to touch down. Polarized trying to find the last second one. He doesn't, but Aurora does find the win right there, making them 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, Aurora's going to get the possibility for the sweep here, but we've seen many reverse sweeps happen. It's going to be very tough for the Pawns, but if they play like they're capable and if they keep playing how they are, they just need to fix up, I guess, a little bit of the defense. I mean, they're still playing pretty solid, but if they can clean that up a little bit, I think this is a whole nother series, and they have a great chance.
Yeah, I agree with that. Though they did have very solid defense. There was the mistakes that they made, 3 to be precise, mistakes that Aurora was able to capitalize on, obviously giving them the win. But Pons played pretty good, but it did seem like they were playing just a little bit nervous. There was a couple of double commits that came out offensively and defensively, and you can't have that in this situation. You got to be on your P's and Q's. You got to be tight rotationally, and you got to be communicating with one another. And we'll see here, Matt, if they're able to pull it together and send us into a game 4 if they go home right here, right now.
Yeah, the Pawns aren't going to be able to allow Aurora to put on 12 shots like last match. That is way too much time for the ball to be spent on the Pawn side of the field. So they're going to need to fix that up a little bit and put on some more pressure here in this game 3 if they want the chance to make the comeback.
And they Pawns are already doing just that. In the first 15 seconds of the game, they're keeping the ball in Aurora's side. Polarize gonna slam into Clinksy, who is trying to air dribble the ball there, and they're gonna lose possession of it. Speed Demon's gonna find an early goal. 30 seconds in, Pawns go up by 1.
And if you're the Pawns, that's what you're looking for there. Speed able to get the shot on net. Uh, Clinksy ends up bumping Polarize, which stops them both from having a chance to save that shot. And that's a mistake here for Aurora that could change the game. But if you're the Pawns, you love to see it.
Yes, you do. And Pawns now up having the lead, only have to play solid Rocket League defensively, and they will shut out Aurora's offense, and they will be able to take their first win in the series and the first win that they need in a reverse sweep. Yukio is going to send it off the backboard. Flight Knight's there, but doesn't get the shot. Polarize sends it out. Polarize tries to get the flick, but Flight Knight takes it from him. Clinksy playing it in the midfield. Odie chops off the top of Flight Knight. Speed Demon sends it down. Flight Knight's there, but Polarize takes it from him. Polarize sends it to the side. Speed Demon gets another shot on an empty net. Pawns go up by 2.
Nobody home. Every single Aurora player back on the Pawn side of the field. You cannot do that. That's a rotational error. They need somebody at least midfield or farther back, or else that's going to happen. As that's going to give the Pawns a 2-0 lead. Still 3.5 minutes, a ton of time for Aurora, but they can't have a bunch of mistakes like that if they want to be able to complete the sweep.
They certainly cannot. Clinksy trying to get his touch off the sidewall. Odie Chops puts it out to the mid. Odie Chops looked like he was rocking the Merc van. Props to him on that. That thing is so fun to play, and it's like throwing a brick at the ball. Polarize putting one on. Polarize can't get it through. Speed Demon with a big save right there. Clinksy keeping it in for Aurora. Yukio trying to get the block. Odie Chops coming off the sidewall. Clinksy can't find it. It's going to hit the top crossbar. Flight Knight trying to get it out of Pond's defensive zone. Speed Demon gets dunked by Polarize, but Yukio is finally able to clear it. Clinksy sends it back. Clinksy gets the follow, but it bounces again off of the crossbar. That thing is absolutely destroying Aurora right now, Matt.
Yeah, they can't seem to get a shot to fall as they've hit post and crossbar probably about 5 times there in that offensive possession. And if you're Aurora, you hate to see that. That is like very unfortunate. I'm sure a lot of us have been in that situation before. You just can't get any shots to drop. But if they can keep the pressure up, they're going to end up starting something eventually, I think.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. We've seen that Aurora is capable. You know, the more you let them shoot, the more they're going to dial in, especially Clinksy, as we see him stay up in the air a lot. And we know he has the ability to get the touches he needs to sink the goals. Speed Demon trying to get it through Aurora's defense. Polarized pinches it out. Flight Knight's there to take it back from him, but the ball gets pinched out. Polarized is going to get it taken from him by Speed Demon, but he's going to demo Speed Demon. Clinksy trying to slow it down. Got a 50 with Flight Knight, and it pops up. And we see Yukio and Clinksy rule one in the corner as Flight Knight gets it through, but he can't follow. Odie Chop's going to put it on. Polarized with the big bump play. Going to give Aurora their first goal of this match.
And just with that bump right there, that's going to cut this lead in half. And it looks like Polarized ended up missing the bump, but I think it put pressure on the Pawns goaltender, and it made him have to try and avoid that and get the save, which is difficult to do. So Polarized did his job there, and Aurora's not out of this game.
No, they are not. 56 seconds left on the clock, and they are only down by one. As long as they can keep Pawns out of their net and get a couple more shots, they only need one goal to tie us up, send us into overtime, and possibly in the series as they are up by two. Yukio in his own corner trying to get it out. Flight Knight gets it past one. Gonna get the follow, trying to get it through Clinksy. Gets it off the backboard, but it gets cleared. Speed Demon to keep it in for Pawns. Clinksy pops it up. Clinksy there to follow, sends it down. Yukio with the touch. Yukio trying to get it out, but Odie Chops keeps it in. Speed Demon pops it up. Polarized not getting the touch he's looking for, and Flight Knight's gonna clear it out. The last couple seconds here, Pawns looking to take game three, and the ball only has to touch Polarized, putting a long shot on. No, it's not gonna go. Pawns gonna get game three, sending us into a game four.
And if the Pawns continue to play like that, I think they have a great chance for this reverse sweep. It's going to be difficult, but you saw they were able to control the ball more on Aurora's side at the end there. And Aurora did a great job of keeping the ball on the Pawn side of the field for a while, but the Pawn's just able to hold strong and only allow one goal, which for the 9 shots that Aurora put on, one goal isn't too bad to give up there. Pawns, I'm not sure how many shots on net they had. I saw 3 between the 2 of the members. Not sure what or how many shots the last player on Pawns had, but 2 goals out of at least 3 shots. Pretty good average, .666. If that just great. I'm lost for words right now, just kind of mumbling on, but back to you, Psycho.
Yeah, the Pawns definitely putting on a good show in that game three, as they definitely needed to. They sort of dropped the ball in game one and two and allowed Aurora to pick up both of those games. And here we see Flight Knight trying to get the pressure going early, trying to get the early lead like they did before. Speed Demon putting one on, but Clinksy with the solid defense able to make the stop. Aurora still trying to get out of their own defensive zone as Odie Chops finally gets it through the halfway mark on the field. Polarized sends it off the backboard. Polarized gets dunked by Speed Demon as the ball floats in the mid. Clinksy can't find it again. Speed Demon pops it up. Speed Demon trying to follow, but Aurora keeping it in Pawn's defensive zone. Aurora again in the midfield. Clinksy trying to follow and get fancy, but Yukio sends it out. Odie Chops keeps the pressure. Clinksy pops it up. Speed Demon's there. He makes the touch, but this still could be dangerous. Flight Knight sends it all the way out. Flight Knight again, 50s with Clinksy, but Chops with the big boomers. So far, nobody's scoring yet, Matt. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock, and we're seeing a different game than we've seen so far in this series.
It seems like both teams are playing a little passive, but they're still trying to start some aggressive moves on the other team's side of the field, as we see Aurora keeping it on the Pawn side of the field once again in this series. It just seems like they've been killing it and just haven't allowed the ball on their side for very long periods of times. But it seems as if that the Pawns just can't really get the ball off their sides, as they will once in a while, as that's probably the difference here in this series.
Yes, Aurora is definitely controlling the midfield for the most part, not allowing the Pawns to get good clears, but they're also not able to get any good offense rolling themselves, as they've only had 2 shots on net so far, but they are controlling the mid, so they are controlling the pressure, and it's just a matter of time if they keep control that the Pawns defense crack, and Aurora scores a goal. And we are at the halfway point here, and Pawns almost trying to open the can of worms. Clinksy missing his touch. Flight Knight tries to get a shot over, but Odie Chops was up, makes the stop. Flight Knight pops it to the mid. Odie Chops again with the stop. Yukio missing his touch. Polarized also missing his touch. Speed Demon gets the touch, but it gets deflected, and it's floating in the midfield. Flight Knight trying to get a heater on, but Odie Chops again. Yukio with the shot, but Clinksy with the stop. Polarized pre-jumping a little bit too early. Flight Knight in the midfield, and we're seeing here, Matt, a little bit of pressure change as the Pawns start to control more of the midfield.
Yeah, and right as you say that, heads back onto the pawn side, and they're not going to be able to get the clearing. Clinksy's going to lay it in for the first goal of the game.
Clinksy, the aviator, coming off the sidewall, flying for 16 miles, and then finding that ball, getting it past two of the Pawns defenders there. Aurora now having this sweep in their sights. Clinksy making the save right there, getting back just in time. Pawns almost able to tie up the game. Flight Knight sends it out to the side. Flight Knight trying to follow, but Odie Chop beats him to it. There's a 50 in the mid as the ball gets pinched to the side. Speed Demon gets the touch, chops off his own backboard. Flight Knight sends it out of the corner. Polarized is awkward. He's backwards and he gets the touch. He sends it away. Yukio sends it back as we see all three of Aurora's members in the same corner. Speed Demon's there to take advantage of an empty net and tie the game.
Speed staying clutch, able to tie this game up as it looked like Pawn's season could be fading away. Able to tie it up with a minute left here as we're about to see who's going to end up coming out on top and breaking this tie as the Pawns are fighting for their season.
Yes, and this is the do or die moment for them. They have to win this game and the next, or they go home. Their season comes to a close. Odie Chops missing his touch, missing the shot, but getting the demo on Yukio in the corner. Speed Demon's up. Speed Demon botches the touch, but Yukio's there to help out. He sends it rolling. Odie Chops with the touch in his own corner. Speed Demon gets it through one, gets it through two. Polarized with an amazing stop at the very last second. That ball almost securing this win for the Pawns. Flight Knight trying to get something going. Yukio with the awkward touch sent back towards his own net. Speed Demon out of his own corner. Can't beat Clinksy to it. This could be it. Aurora could take the shot. Yukio to send it out. And there we have an OT for game 4, Matt.
Yeah, and honestly, both teams playing very solid. Seems pretty close in my opinion. Neither team really has the momentum as they've just been switching like possessions constantly. Nobody really controlling the ball much here in this game 4 as both teams still looking for the win. I mean, Aurora needs it to move on to the playoffs. Pawns need the win for their season to continue.
We'll see which team's able to get the golden goal here. 30 seconds so far on the clock. Clinksy trying to make it happen. Speed Demon is able to get it out from in front of the Pawns net. Speed Demon to follow, puts it in front of Aurora's net, but nobody there to take the shot. Odie Chops sends it down from the mid. Odie Chops out of the corner, hits it too hard. It's going to go over the Pawns net. Speed Demon following out of his own corner. Speed Demon gets it past Clinksy, but can't follow the ball. Odie Chop sends it all the way down. Clinksy's there for the redirect, but Flight Knight is able to get the touch. It goes under Flight Knight, up over Yukio, but Speed Demon able to send that one away. Odie Chops trying to keep it going, but missing his touch. Clinksy puts one on that it's going to go just wide and hit the post. That was a dangerous one. Yukio back to make the stop as Polarized gets a heater from the midfield. Clinksy sends it back to Pawns defensive zone again. Speed Demon gets it past one in the midfield, tries to get it past Chops, but no. Chops sends it up. Flight Knight gets the touch. Chops again sends it down, but Yukio again makes a stop. Polarized to keep it for Aurora. Polarized getting it in front of the net. This could be it. Yes, there it is. Clinksy's going to sink it. Aurora is going to be the winner here, and they're going to move on to face Frost in the first round of the playoffs.
An unfortunate way for the Pond season to end, but eventually someone has to come out on top, and Aurora shows that they've got what it takes. And honestly, for Aurora, I think Clinksy was the MVP here as he scored, I believe, at least 5 goals in game 2 and game 4 combined. So that's huge for Aurora there. An unfortunate way for the Pond season to end, but still played very solid. So nothing to hang your heads about. Just go into next season and see what's going on, I guess.
Yeah, and a good performance from both teams there. Aurora, though, like you said, Clinksy, shout out to him as he pretty much did all the work, but he was the one doing a lot of the work on the offense. All three putting in a lot of good work on the defense in almost every single game. All of them had multiple saves. So hats off to them as it was said by Dan the Man in the second match, defense wins championships, and Aurora showed us throughout that series how true that actually is. And that was a good series. Congratulations to Aurora moving on as the 8th seed in the playoffs that will start next Monday and run for about 2 weeks, I believe. So congratulations to them on that. And Matt, I appreciate you joining me here in the booth tonight to wrap up our Saturday Night Rocket League.
Thank you for having me. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I would say a great playing brackets for novice through rivals. So if we continue to have the same amount of like energy and intensity, these playoffs are just going to be uh, different. Like they are going to be absolutely insane. I'd say like a 9 or 10 on like the intensity scale, but I feel like nerves are going to play a lot of like a big role in the games.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see about that. I know there's somebody that I'm supposed to be shouting out for a sub. Grav effect? Yes. Okay, Bayou Tech and Grav Effect. So appreciate y'all. Shout out for the subs. Everybody give some love in the chat. Sorry I forgot to shout you out earlier, but here it is at the end. I hope you're still around to hear it. And I appreciate everybody else, of course, as always, for showing up for our Saturday Night Rocket League match. It's a pleasure to bring you this action. Always appreciate all the support from the league. If you're new here, give us a follow to stick around. We're about to enter our playoffs that are going to run for about 2 weeks. They're going to be really intense for all 5 of our leagues. You can also join up in the Discord. You wouldn't be able to find the team right now as we are in the playoffs, but starting, I think somewhere around October, our next season will be starting. So you can get into the Discord, start getting your name around, playing 6-mans and such. So that way, whenever the draft starts for season 6, you already possibly have yourselves a team. But as always, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming out. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and we will see you. We will be back Monday with the start of the playoffs.